What up, though, y'all? It's Chris. Appreciate you connecting with me while I'm out here on the run, getting things done. And we're going to talk about Shaq, man. He done got kind of linked into the Shannon Sharpe situation. There is a audio recording of Matt Barnes. Matt Barnes, who does the All the Smoke podcast with Steven Jackson. Very entertaining, by the way. I really enjoy their stuff. So if you're into sports stuff and you may not be the biggest fan of the two of them, but I'm telling you, like they podcast is pretty. It's a pretty fun one. I became more of a fan of theirs after I started watching that, because I ain't really mess with none of them when they hooped. Matt Barnes, he just never was really that guy for me. After the thing with him and Kobe, I ain't really mess with him. And as for Stack, he was part of Malice in the Palace, so I ain't really mess with him like that. But years later, everybody's matured, myself included, at least tried to anyway. And I watched their stuff and I really like it. But there's an audio recording of Matt Barnes, and he's talking to somebody saying, hey, he was just on like a group text or whatever, group chat, and Shaq willing to pay top dollar for information about Shannon Sharpe. He's saying to the guy that he's talking to. And this, some dudes, you just got to be careful, man, because you don't know what whole ass niggas you got in your midst. Because why the dude you talking to recording you, man? That's lame as hell, for real. These dudes out here recording each other, like that shit is just crazy, man. I don't like that type of shit. There's supposed to be some conversation between me and you sitting up here recording me, man. Like the female did to Unc Shay. But nonetheless, he like, I don't know if that's the type of time that y'all on, but I'm just putting it out there. Shaq willing to pay top dollar. He say he did something to him back in the day, and he willing to pay top dollar for any dirt on him. Okay, so problem with this, you do not want Shaq as an enemy. I don't know what Shay did. I've heard a few things. One of the things that I heard, I don't know how true this is, but it go all the way back to the late 90s concerning a woman that Shaq and Unc was interested in. So, I mean, given how petty Shaq can be, I really wouldn't be surprised if that was it, or one instance of several that he like, I want to put out some money and see what I can find out about him. But yeah, you don't want Shaq as an enemy, man, because Shaq is petty as all get out. You do not want him as an enemy. And I'm not saying this as a hater. I like Shaq. I'm a fan. I own his Lakers jersey. I own the gold one. So this isn't me just dunking on him. But like him as I may, I am not blind to the fact that if you got a beef with Shaq, he is not going to be the bigger man and squash it. He is not going to be the mature one in the beef and squash it. That just is what it is. Think about this. Dwight Howard, he was after Dwight Howard for a good 15 years. Dwight Howard wouldn't even come for him. He was always coming for Dwight Howard. And why? Because he decided to call himself Superman too. You see what I mean? Like, Shaq could be petty, man. The only reason why Shaq off of him now is because finally Dwight Howard was like, bro, like, you've been on my dick for like 15 years now. You always bringing me up. Like, what is your deal? When is enough enough? And, Shaq responded like, I bet you I won't bring you up no more. I'll never bring you up no more. Shaq was trying to say he the insecure one. And it's like, no, bro, you the one that keep coming for this dude. Dude never say nothing about you. He really wouldn't. The only time Shaq would come up is if somebody would ask Dwight Howard about Shaq, and he'd be like, look, I really don't know what his problem is with me. So finally Shaq got off of him, and I'm glad something has finally been smoothed out. because he wanted Shaq to stand up for him at the what is the Hall of Fame induction, and Shaq agreed to do so. I'm really glad for that, man, for real. But that wouldn't have been the case if like it was Dwight Howard that reached out with the olive branch. That's what I'm saying. You got to reach out to Shaq with the olive branch. He is never going to be the bigger man. Another example I can give y'all with Kobe, man. I mean, he did all the petty stuff with Kobe when Kobe was his own damn teammate. Like, really, he was really and that was hard for me, man, because I really liked the two of them together, and it really sucked that there was this, this animosity, a rivalry, or whatever it was, jealousy. Seemed like more coming from Shaq than coming from Kobe, and Shaq kept that stuff going after Kobe was gone, no longer on his team anymore. And then years and years later, they did that sit down, which was very entertaining, by the way. If you guys haven't seen it, I recommend you guys take a look at that. Even then, you could still kind of tell in their conversation that there was still something there from Shaq, not from Kobe. There was still kind of something there. It took Kobe finally passing away that I think Shaq finally realized, man, I spent too much time on this petty shit with my mans, with the young fella, as he used to like calling them. I spent too much time on this petty stuff, and now he no longer here. So we can't say that Shaq is the reason for why Shay is in this situation. I really don't think that he is, but it is amusing to learn now that Shaq was putting money on the streets trying to find out information to expose him, man. I guess that's what happens when you got dudes with a lot of money and a lot of free time and a lot of ego, and any perceived slight, they feel like they got to get back at you. This is the sort of stuff that you're going to be exposed to, man. So I wasn't too surprised to find this out about Shaq, that he was, putting word out on the street. He paying top dollar for whatever he could learn about him. I wasn't surprised by that at all. I wouldn't be surprised if Shaq has done this to other people and we just never knew about it, because I find it hard to believe doing something like this was his first time. No, this is definitely not his first time. I mean, we could just assume, and I don't like to assume, but we could just assume in this case, it ain't his first time, just based on Shaq's personality and the history he has of being petty as hell and not able to let stuff go. Shaq is one of the people that just can't let stuff alone. This came from his mouth. It was one person he was beefed out with, and I can't remember who it was, where one of his parents reached out to him and told him, man, you doing too much. And he said at that moment, he decided never to mention that person again, never go at that person again. Bro, why do it take your damn parents to be like, look, you need to find something else to focus on? Like, you got too much money, too much freedom. Do you need a hobby? Do you need something? Do you need to read? You need to go skiing? Like, you doing too much. And again, none of this stuff is coming from a lens of hate, because I do really like Shaq a lot. The only thing I don't like about Shaq, and this is something that I've never liked about him and never will, is dude is just too petty for his own good, and he never knows how to leave anything alone. Dude is just simply unable to leave anything alone ever. He cannot walk away. It don't matter if you walk away, he will still keep coming for you. That's the sort of dude that he is. So whatever thing that he felt like Unc Shay did to him, he said it was way back when, at least that's how Matt Barnes described it. Shaq's still there with it. We in 2025 and dude's still trying to put money out on the street and figure out some dirt on him to get even with him. But that's Shaq, man. I guess love it or hate it. That's how he roll. I'm gonna leave it there though, y'all. I'll holler at y'all soon. Let me know what y'all think in them comments as always. Talk to y'all later. Peace.